Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a day with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In the yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the oh well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it. like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy crazy, oh oh crazy, oh 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy crazy, do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Titan League Immortal Division. I'm Not a Valve Game, joined by Quacks here, and I want to clarify some things before we go in. Because this matchup, Conduit Rising Dawn versus Maelstrom Esports, started quite a bit late because of Maelstrom's late show up. We do have in Game 2, 3 bans will be taken away as punishment.
Yes.
Now, with that situation, Quacks, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be back onto the Titan stream here. Always a pleasure to be on for the day. And overall, you know, been a little bit since I've checked in with the Immortal League. A decent amount has changed. We've obviously got our teams that have carved out between, you know, being the best, being, you know, on the lower end of the totem pole in terms of standings. And it seems like we're going to be dealing with 2 teams that are more or less, you know, on the lower end, potentially on the struggling end, in particular Conduit Rising Dawn at 2-2 and Maelstrom Esports at 0-4.
I mean, right here, that's just at the beginning of the season, it's always when you get off to a rough start, you gotta kind of get back, refocus up, and get back into it. But you know, it's still, we're at the bottom of the top division. These are the big boy games. You know, this is the Grandmasters and Masters division cap. So I mean, these guys are still pretty good. There's not any doubt on their skill. Believe we'll be going into picks and bans very shortly. But is there anything you expect to see in these picks or bans?
I mean, we did just have a new patch here, Valve. So if I'm being completely honest with you, and this was the MSI patch, keep in mind. So I'm not sure we're going to be seeing anything too out of the realm of what these teams are expected to actually be picking, what they have been picking over the course of the past 4 weeks. As you can see on the screen, patch, not the biggest in the world. Obviously, we have some nerfs to some really, I think, meta-defining characters in their respective role. The Vi, most notably, I think, getting hit in the jungle, not too much. I think it was just a nerf toward that passive shield. Yorick as well being a staple in the top lane could potentially see that one played. I don't think that the nerfs are necessarily going to dissuade players that like and know how to play this character from picking him this time around. So I think we'll probably see more of the same. And honestly, with where we're at in the regular season, Valve, and where ththese teams are standing, one at 2-2 and the other one at 0-4, potentially staring down, not making the playoffs cut, I feel like that style really has to be put to the forefront, because it's not a good time to start changing things up now when you are, you know, at the edge of a cliff, metaphorically.
I definitely agree with that. It's now draft is coming to us as we, you know, discuss this. But do you think Zach's gonna be banned? You got the name in the name, so yeah, you think Zach's gonna be banned away?
I mean, yep, there it is. So it is going to be the Zach immediately taken off the board. I do wonder though where CRD's head's at in terms of what they actually want to ban, because I feel like a lot of what Maelstrom have tried to do with their comp and who they really tried to play around is Tatted E-Boy, their top laner. I feel like a lot of their success and how their game actually runs runs through him, being able to play a lot of those bruisers, a lot of those skirmishers, a lot of those fighters. And so I don't actually know if Conduit are going to pay much respect to that, at least in the first phase of bans, as we're more than likely expecting, if the top laner is the one being played toward, him to be that 5th pick. So maybe the second phase of bans, you see some top laners, but for now, we're just getting rid of the preliminaries, things like the Lucian, things like the Ivern, the Lilia, the Mel, the Viego, and the Zac, all taken off the board. Conduit Rising Dawn on that blue side, so they will get first pick. And there are a decent amount of, strong jungle champs open, but they're going to go and open with that AD carry pool first and going to immediately lock in that Varus. This is something that Cali has played in the past.
I mean, when I see the Varus, I think of the big artillery style, staying in the back and doing a ton of damage. Tristana, on the other hand, she does that damage from a bit of a distance, but can also get in there with that leap, and can also get out of there with that leap. So we'll see what they pair that off with. It'll be the Volley Bear, another character that gets in there. And tell me, what do you think of these first 2 picks, specifically for that Varus, countering?
I think that Tristana is a really interesting pick because I think there is definitely a divide amongst teams of whether or not you can play this into the mid lane as well. We've seen, obviously, this be a very prominent flex pick in some of the higher elos. So I'm not sure French Caps is going to immediately snag that one up. But all in all, though, I think that the first picks here are really good. They don't deal... they don't have a ton of, I think, prominent counters in the meta at the current moment, especially Volley Bear, which I think you can pick into just about anything. So we are going to look on to the other side. Pantheon and Aatrox immediately snagged up. Aatrox, I think, as well as being a strong top laner that did just recently get buffed in this patch, particularly, I think, toward his E, got that spell a little bit stronger, is also potentially a denial away from Tatted E-Boy, as like we said, he likes to play those fighters, and Aatrox fits into that mold.
I love that sort of soft ban in a way, the pick away ban sort of situation. Taking the Aatrox away takes away from that style that Tatted E-Boy looks for. You said he loves those brawling picks, and I know Aatrox loves to fight. I wonder what he's going to go to instead of that. I'm thinking more Cassante maybe, or Camille could be another pick. I know Alawi doesn't really get played up, in competitive, but Alawi's another pick I think of with the brawly stuff, so maybe in that sort. But the Camille is what he goes towards.
This is an interesting matchup, and one that I actually think Aatrox has a much easier time into. Camille with the hook shot is in prime position to get Q3, and I think really timing is going to be of the essence for Tatted E-Boy and a lot of these top lane trades and this matchup, because if you're using that Q, or you're using that hook shot to engage the fight, and Aatrox has to go through his first 2 Qs before he can hit that third one, you'll get the movement speed from Q2 as Camille and should be able to just run out there. And then level 6, obviously, once you have that Hextech ultimatum, you have the opportunity to just dodge out on that damage. So it's a good top lane matchup, I think, for Tatted E-Boy going into this game number 1. But you always have to be very cautious of Aatrox's resilience in the laning phase and just how much he can heal, especially once he gets that Sundered Sky and potentially goes to the Eclipse. I know there has been some discourse about what Aatrox's first 2 items should be, but it's healing regardless of how you splice it.
I mean, I'm seeing the Aatrox, I'm seeing the Camille, that matchup. I mean, you summed it up really well there, but I'm looking at both these comps here. Specifically the support matchup. You see the support picked early by Maelstrom and later on by the, by CRD. And I'm looking at both these comps. Which one do you think has, which team won out here?
It's a bit tough to say, honestly. I think that Pantheon is always a really hot commodity when you look at the current state of League of Legends, just being able to have that global pressure, that guaranteed lockdown, and really not falling off at any point in the game. So I feel like this is a really strong top side from Conduit Rising Dawn. But at the same time, I also feel like Maelstrom have an opportunity to really make stuff happen on the bot side. You kind of illuminated a little bit, Valve, of how strong this Tristana pick can be. And paired up with Lockdown like the Ari Charm and the Rel combo, it certainly can be a potent pick that, Conduit might struggle to get to the back line onto.
I mean, I really like both these comps because it's a very scrappy game, I feel like. Both these, I mean, obviously Varus isn't one to, get in there, but I feel like every other character, Varus Syndra maybe not, but every other character gets in there, And I love seeing these brawly kind of games, and I'm sure the goal of Maelstrom is to get onto the Syndra or get onto this Varus and go, But at the meantime, you've got on the other side, we got to protect one of them, or we got to protect them both, or we have to start the fight on our terms so they can't get to our backline. And I'm curious, what do you think is like the dream scenario here for Maelstrom to, get the game going the best way possible? Is there a specific lane you want to look towards? You mentioned the top side, but is there a specific lane you favor if you are Maelstrom's jungle, you want to get them ahead?
I think Maelstrom are already starting to kind of show their hand a little bit here by this early pathing from One Punch Zach. You do have that Volibear pathing toward the top side. I think he knows that his top laner has the Ignite Summoner spell. You want to make use of that as early as humanly possible. I will say, I think top lane is going to be a very important matchup, but a little bit of respect toward the Grubs as well, I think would go a long way in kind of creating this threat for the Tristana with that bomb. You put it on the turret and you can get so much gold. So top side is particularly where I'm looking at for Maelstrom. I do think, though, that Conduit certainly have an opportunity with combos like the Scatter the Weak from Codeine to potentially put a wrench in those plans, just as a matter about freeing up those pieces to maneuver around the board.
I mean, a lot of, I feel like, the freedom is in the hands of CRD in terms of how they want to start things, just because of this Grand Starfall. Pantheon can kind of just choose where he wants to go and how he wants to start a fight. And then you have this sort of, okay, we have to deal with this now. Pantheon is in the middle of everybody. And it's the response sort of situation. So you've got that sort of in. But at the same time, you mentioned this top lane matchup and the volatility, especially when you go and Ignite on a character like Camille. Camille is already a character. You see, she actually took an early back, which is very interesting to see. But she's a character that wants to, brawl, and she wants to try to play for kills, and that Ignite is definitely going to help her do that. And I'm surprised she took a back this early. Are you just expecting her to play for the kill?
When she gets back, she goes for a longsword, has a bit of an item advantage over Zwol's on this Aatrox, so she'll be able to shove in this wave and put some pressure in that top lane. Heck, if you can chunk out this Aatrox enough to where One Punch Zach is still on this top side, maybe can look for a dive, though. I think the way that the waves are panning out, probably not going to happen. Instead, One Punch Zach might be looking for this mid lane. But Codeine is really healthy, so it's a bit dangerous, especially because he is holding that peel with the Scat of the Week.
This is dangerous, though. French Cap's fallen low, but the charm is good. Flash away. French Caps is safe for now. But it looks like One Punch Zach is trying to put her down with one punch. There is a good slowdown, and the Pantheon is here to protect his boy. Make sure they get out safe.
Manages to protect his mid laner for sure, like you said, and also Codeine being able to hold that flash will just allow the Syndra to play more aggressive in this laning phase. I think French Caps is probably going to have level 6 by the time he or is going to have level 6 before that flash comes off of cooldown. So we'll definitely have some survivability, but there is going to be a short little window where I really want to see if No More Excuses can actually look toward that mid lane to try and punish this Ahri and maybe give this Syndra an early indication of power in this part of the match. As One Punch Zach, not even recalling, just going for the bot lane play.
And it looks like they're going for the play and trying to make the play. The Braum taking a ton of damage, and so is the Varus, but nobody falls down. Thanks to that barrier, Varus is safe, and Braum, they both burn the flash, but nobody falls just yet.
And now they're going to be forced to kind of hug the turret for a little bit. This will give Ventura and Rainy Days, I think, probably the opportunity to shove in the wave, and then likely look for a reset, because neither bot lane duo has.
Tristana's in?
1v2.
She leaped in, and I think it was a bit of an ambitious, all right, let's see if you've got the hands, right? I think that was more of a speed check right there. See if you can respond to this properly. But now, you see Pantheon's not trying to give this up. No excuse for you to take the dragon just because my bot lane's low. But I might be in danger now. The stun comes down, some good damage is there, but the first blood, no more excuses. I'm getting this first blood, but Ventura returns the kill and gets one in kind, trying to chase down this support, but will not reach him. Back to the dragon they go.
I think it was maybe a little bit overzealous of No More Excuses going in just a bit too soon. I think if he had waited for Dunsey and maybe if Kelly wanted to also join the fight, could have made something happen because you had the flash burn on Rainy Days. As we are going to get a slight little replay, you can see he has perfect eyes on where everyone on this bot side is. He gets aggressed onto, and then I feel like just obviously gets CC chained down, but I would have liked to have just tried to have kept my distance a little bit more. You see your bot lane hitting the dragon in fog, and you automatically know that One Punch Zach is right around the corner, even if you can't literally see him. You know that Volibear is there. So, you know, a bit of a hasty decision, I think, from No More Excuses does cost him his life. He will get one back, though, so does get a kill for himself, but subsequently loses the dragon. So Maelstrom coming out in these, you know, first 6.5 to 7 minutes, relatively ahead in gold and pressure.
Good CC onto French and onto Coding there. That was a big trade back and forth. You see Rel is kind of posturing around this mid lane, seeing if she can maybe get something done, but doesn't look like anything just yet. Braum matching her in kind now. Well, it's a bit of a neutral state now that 1-for-1 happened, but they did lose the dragon, like you said. So I feel like the momentum is, you know, shifting in the favor of Maelstrom at this point because they've got, you know, this kind of dragon taken our way, and we've got this, you know, our jungler. We got the kill on the jungler onto our carry specifically, our AD carry, and we've got a bit of a favorable spot. Again, we talked about this top lane before, and it might be a Starfall coming down on the top side. Camille's getting aggressed on.
Yeah, something's happened on the top side, but the camera is really interested in this bot lane, but we're going to get a little bit of a bot side window into that world.
I see why.
Manages to dissuade, but here we go. Zach's going in, has flash.
And that's the ultimate from the Volibear, but we'll see if we can lock them down. CC locked indeed and locked into that wall with that fist. Punched down. One punch, a little bit more than one punch was needed, but he was put down all the same.
Yeah, good aggression there from Zach. It's really important that they get that kill. Codine going to probably cancel this back as there is vision on this Volibear, but he's actually going to be the first to go in.
Tristana wants more, though. They're looking for this Braum. There's some good damage into that shield. We're slowing him down, and Volibear wants more, and we're going to give it to Ventura. Ventura is getting even more kills, some more damage getting traded into this Syndra now. We see Caps posturing around, possibly looking for a dive here. Void Grubs are secured topside, but it looks like they might be looking for a dive.
Yeah, but they've got to go quickly. Dunsey has respawned, is going toward the bot side. No teleport available for Wolves. They're just going to go for it. Charm misses.
Charm misses, but the rest of the CC hits, which means Ventura gets 1, Ventura gets 2. Double kill, 4 kills for this AD carry.
And now, No More Excuses is on the bot side. Does have the Grand Starfall. Can enter into this fight, but doesn't want to go just yet. He doesn't have any vision as to where the other members of MES are, so maybe a lone spear shot could do it, but he's not even going to go for that. A massive bot side play for Maelstrom Esports, and definitely sort of circumvents and makes what Conduit got on that top side with those grubs pale in comparison. Sure, you lost the top side objective, but you got so many kills onto the Tristana in turn. Ventura comes back with Utal and 4 kills here.
I mean, right there, we saw Pantheon burn the Grand Starfall up top, trying to get E-Boy. And E-Boy was able to slip away. And then, just aggression in bot side. Pantheon's not going to be able to be here. So we could just gank, and then we can dive the tower and just get kills. And now that this Tristana has this accelerated start, we do have to be careful not to just give up her bounty. But with this lead in carry, are we going to look for any like big plays, or are we just trying to keep her farming up and keep this lead?
I think MES are perfectly content with the way the game is going so far. With the item advantages, we're expecting a lot of push in that bot side, a lot of pressure to be drawn onto Callie and Dunsey, which means priority for One Punch Zach to continue his escapades on this bot side, which is more dragons into the hands of Maelstrom. That's just going to allow them to scale. I think it's really going to be up to Conduit Rising Dawn to kind of break the mold, look for a play, potentially catch someone out on sides, but as it stands, that's really difficult. All of the Maelstrom players that actually brought Flash in this game currently have Flash and are extremely mobile in their own right. So being able to get a pick that we're talking about is a little bit more difficult, but luckily I think No More Excuses understands that, says, I'll just go for the guy that doesn't have flash, instead has the ignite, but does have the hook shot, so does have to be careful about potentially coming too early.
They are waiting. The hook shot is burned, though, which means the Starfall might come down. Not even coming down. Camille puts in the cage, but Aatrox uses the World Ender. Make sure he's safe for now. Pantheon will finish up the kill. E-Boy goes down.
E-Boy goes down. Doesn't have teleport either, so Zwolz is going to be able to push this top side in and will definitely deny some resources from this Camille. But MES are being as proactive as they possibly can on the map. Immediately after No More Excuses helps out his top side, he resets, anticipates that a dive might be possible. And with that, Grand Starfall is going to be there to defend. But no play, I think, is going to be had by this Volibear. He might look for the respawns, but will be seen by the Pantheon, who does have the Sundered Sky. So there is a big item completion here for the jungler of CRD.
Looks like One Punch Zach is trying to get these camps and get away. He will be able to walk, get that shield, but it looks like the team is here to back it up. That is a huge ultimate from the Braum, and that means there might be some success here. We're getting some CC, getting some lockdown. Here comes the Grand Starfall, leap out by that Stormbringer, but we've got the lockdown, we've got the CC, but can we get kills? Can we turn it into kills, or are we gonna get killed? No more excuses. It is an excuse this time. The excuse is we're falling down, we're dead. The Ahri dashes in, trying to catch out the Braum, but will not find him. And the only person who went down is No More Excuses. Oh my goodness.
Barrier diff as he manages to survive. It's only one kill over to Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs, but it should have been so much more for Conduit as we're going into this replay. One Punch Zach, like you said, just looking for these respawn camps, gets, you know, chunked out just a bit, and that shield is going to do wonders for the Pantheon's health bar. But here, right here, we have the Chains of Corruption, we've got the Glacial Fissure, everything is going right for Conduit in order to punish these specific members, but then No More Excuses. He goes in, I feel like, onto the wrong target, instead going for the Ahri, but Rainy Days was right there, the Rel was right there, the Spear Shot click misses, and everything goes wrong for CRD in a play that should have been their chance back into this game.
I don't know. The stars look like they aligned there, and it looked so good. Oh, we grabbed the hook shot there, but we're not going to get anything from that. That was cute. But the stars look like they aligned there, right? Because you saw the Glacial Fissure, you saw the Varus ultimate come down, like literally everything connected, but we lost our jungler. That has to be, you know, demoralizing here, but I don't think a kill on Camille will be demoralizing. As we pop the World Ender, we make sure his world ends. Tatted E-Boy goes down.
Yeah, calls over a lot of attention from Maelstrom. Zwolz maybe pushing in a little too far here. Does have the safety and protection of his jungler, so will be okay for now. French Caps sniffing this one out, knowing that the Pantheon is in that bush. And at least for the time being, not only do you get the kill on the top side, but you pull enough attention from One Punch Zach to where your bot lane should be in a position to, at the very least, farm in peace, which they haven't been able to do a lot in this game. As you can see, Rainy Days is just looking for basically any opportunity to go aggressive. Tatted E-Boy misses the hook shot on the wall. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's always just, you hope nobody saw it, but we all saw it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But we saw even just the aggression. We used the Hex Flash there just to get some CC down. You know, we're getting some CC down. See if we can get anything. Okay, no, that's fine. Short cooldown, no worries. You know, yep. And now we're posturing towards this top side, and we do have, you know, a bit of time before, you know, this Baron spawns. But Rift Herald literally just spawned now, so we might be looking towards that sometime soon. Again, we have this big lead in bot side, and we're not going to just, you know, throw it away or anything. And we have this sort of impasse. We have a topside success. Are we just going to keep trying to go up there, or are we going to try to, you know, get some recovery down on the bot side? This Varus is pretty far down.
Yeah, Varus certainly at a point in the game where he is behind, but Ventura is alone in the bot side. Does have the flash, though.
The stars fall, and Will Ventura. The flash away is good, but the glacial fissure
back up
is
land.
better. It tags him, and the stun comes down. Pantheon's here. We're shutting down, and we make sure Varus gets the kill too, so Varus can get back into it. And I was asking you if that needed to be what happens, and it is what happens right there.
Yep, you ask and they will answer. Conduit managing to find the shutdown on the Tristana, but it's not without its cross-map response by Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs. They are going to be there. They take the Herald. Dragon is going to be up, and so I imagine with how much control of this bot side Conduit have, they're probably going to be favored to take this Dragon, but they're stalling a little bit here. French Caps also having to use that ultimate, so big cooldown taken off of the Ahri, but now 4 members have materialized here for MES on this bot side, or maybe 3, as one punch Zach is going way too aggressive. That's 2 ultimates down, and potentially you have to surrender the Dragon off of something like that.
Charm on the Braum, though, means a lot of poke is going to go to him. But again, this whole pit area is completely controlled by CRD. And it looks like Maelstrom is just kind of giving it up. They don't want to walk in just yet. And I think that's in part because Zach has no ultimate, and Zach is just super poked. But it does seem like the Rel is just kind of trying to pretend like they're contesting, trying to distract them. But it's just secured easily by CRD. That's the first Mountain Drake going to them. But again, a little bit of posturing, but it doesn't seem like anything will come.
You can see Codeine is roaming toward this bot side. There's 4 members of Conduit Rising Dawn on this part of the map, maybe trying to see if Ventura or Rainy Days will walk up too far, but they're not going to fall for it. They don't want to put this Tristana behind after that shutdown.
E-boy in a lot of danger right here. The World Ender is here, and the World Ender awaits. E-boy falls down.
Yeah, the Sundered Sky proc damage is going to be enough to slice through Tatted E-boy for the 3rd time this game. As now it's just going to be one punch Zach going in. Actually, they're all going in. They want to look for a play on the bot side.
It looks like they will be looking for a play. Are they going to make one happen, though? Braum taking quite a bit of damage there, but it doesn't look like there is
Look
anything.
at the flank.
There is a huge flank here. Can we get anything done? Aatrox is here, and Aatrox has been the big point of success here. A lot of damage, a lot of CC. Aatrox has to flash away, but now Ahri is here. French Caps looking to get some more CC down, getting some CC in return right into his dome. But that is a good dash in, and it looks like we're just backing away.
It was a good look there from his Wolves, but Maelstrom, they expertly dodge out on those knock-up sweet spots and will be able to avoid the Aatrox's wrath for the time being. So teleport down for Conduit, but a really good timer to actually use it, as we aren't seeing an objective come up for quite some time. We do obviously have that Herald spawning in about a minute and a half, but I don't really feel like, or no, not even the Herald, the Baron is actually just not spawning until 25 minutes. So it's going to be a little bit before an objective actually puts itself onto the map. And that will give a decent amount of downtime to both of these teams to try and at least establish vision and maybe do what we have talked about a little bit here, Valve, which is try and pick off some of these members on rotation.
I mean, right now it looks like we're posturing towards top side. Pantheon is kind of just pretending to reset right now, waiting for this Camille to hook shot in. But they see the Pantheon now. Tristana's here, though. We're locking in Aatrox. That is a good deal of damage, and that is a lot more damage than he can handle. Stormbringer lands down. Good heal is there, but it's not enough healing. E-boy gets a return. But the chase is on. They're looking to catch somebody out, but I don't think they're going to catch up.
They don't have numbers advantage. They lose their top laner. It's a 3v4 on that side of the map. Herald is going to be procced with the intention of taking down this turret. That is likely going to become a reality. I don't think they're going to look for a inner turret. Instead, they're going to try and drive it down toward the mid lane. And all right, let's see if One Punch Zach earned his license, or if he is one of those people that failed his driver's test twice, as Cody just casually gets a solo under French Caps. There you go. Sometimes that just happens, you know, where a solo kill just materializes from thin air.
Oh no, that hit home right there. Talked about the driver's test. It took me 4 tries. Granted, try number 3, I was failing no matter how well I did. That woman was not having a good day, and it just was not going. I was not going to pass. Anyway, gaming. Solo kill right here. Get folded. I don't think there's really much analysis on this. There's not much more I could say. This guy got folded. And I mean, that's the danger of the Syndra can just fold you like a lawn chair. And that is the real threat they have there. And that is just, Syndra also, you know, had no vision right there. And that was just reaction. I'm gonna fold you.
Yeah, absolutely. As Wolves, despite going down on that top side, is still really strong. 2 levels over Tatted E-Boy on this Camille. I think the real struggle for Conduit so far is just getting this Aatrox around the map, because even though this Camille has, you know, I think significantly lessened in relevancy over the past few minutes, she has been constantly split pushing, and that needs to be constantly answered. And so I do think that Wolves is going to have to find that perfect timing where he doesn't necessarily have to deal with the Camille anymore, has to kind of spread his wings both literally and metaphorically and get toward that bot side of the map. He does have teleport soon ahead of this dragon spawning in about 25 seconds, but Dunzi has to be careful.
A little bit of aggression, but it doesn't seem like anything's going to come of it just yet. They're just a little more posturing. Clear got some vision. Try to make it a little bit more safe for them now. Little rocket belt pickup from the Volley Bear here. That's interesting. Before this fight starts, can you tell me about what the merits here for that are?
I think it helps you a lot with Jack of all trades, so you get a lot of ability haste on this pick, which is really good because you want that for W, because W helps you with survivability. As you know what else helps you with survivability? A Mountain Dragon or 2, as CRD are actually looking for their second one. And I mean, look at the rest of the map. This is kind of the conundrum that Conduit have found themselves in. They get the dragon, but they almost surrender their top lane and subsequently their mid lane turrets, as MES have just spread out amongst the rift, trying to look for cross map plays. This time around, though, it is actually going to be Conduit able to respond on all fronts, but next time it could be more consequential if they aren't careful.
It is a little dangerous here because you saw how Camille, once Aatrox started teleporting, you waited a couple seconds, they were still hitting it, and then after, okay, Aatrox is going to show up, I'm out of here, right? But you saw that they saw that Camille was up top, and they knew they were on a timer. They weren't going to dilly-dally, they weren't going to wait around, they weren't going to play with their fingers, they weren't going to play with their thumbs. They were like, we need to be on Dragon, we're going to take Dragon. Pantheon, though, needs to wait and be careful. His life is going to be taken away. That's their target. Ventura picks up another one for the pocket. Stormbringer comes down, and we're bringing your death right there. French Caps puts one in for himself, but French Caps taking even more damage, and Guy takes one for himself. That is brutal right there, the return kill, but that is a 2-for-1.
It is a 2-for-1, but it also means jungler down for Conduit with Otacon up. Gonna give them the green light to go toward that bot side objective. Codeine is on the bot side of the map, as this Syndra does have flash, does have the unleashed power. I also do believe is either close or has finally hit the mark to have those 100 stacks. So the execute is there for the ultimate. But they're just straight up not going to go for it. And when they do go, it is going to be too late. Thornboard Otacon has been secured, but maybe they can get some revenge.
Oh, they caught the rel jump there. Volibear gets a stun, but the flash out, the rocket belt out is not enough. A stun is returned, but Rainy Day is going to have to wait to another day. He's going to go down. Ventura gets popped by Cali, and Cali falls right after the French Caps coming back in. But the dive may be on. Syndra doing quite a bit of damage, but really a lot less than I thought it was. But the wave is here, like you said right there, and that means the team is here. We're putting French Caps down once again.
I mean, French Caps wanted to try and save his team, but he was just too little, too late. He goes down. They get the Otacon, but at what cost? E-Boy on that top side is going to manage to get a turret. So at the very least, it's a trade of those towers. But realistically, it's a lot of gold funneled into the carries of a Conduit Rising Dawn. And, you know, with 2 dragons, with that neutral objective score tied up for both teams, getting gold into your carries is the name of the game at this point.
I mean, right now, especially with how these carries play, like Syndra literally folded Ahri when she walked around a corner. Like, jumped her and absolutely folded her. Varus is like that artillery style I mentioned before. But then you have the Ahri, who's like the big combo burst kind of style, and then the Tristana, who does the big damage. That's just kind of what she does. right? But it looks like we're having a bit of aggression here on the top side. I believe those Raptors were stolen away. And now the carries, right? We were talking about, you know, the damage and whatnot, but
There it is.
it is, yeah, we do have the execute now, but the Mountain Drake. Now that this is the Mountain, you know, sort of reset every time it's going to be Mountain, what team benefits more from all these Mountain Drakes?
I feel like they honestly, it's a boring answer, but I feel like both teams benefit heavily from this because extended trading, extended fighting is kind of what both of these comps want. And just having that extra tankiness stat, you know, to go with a lot of these extended trades is going to be really useful. But I think Zwolz in particular is going to really appreciate having that in his back pocket as he's going for a 1v1 with Tad and E-Boy yet again. I admire the tenacity of this Camille pick. Even though he's down, he is not out. He is still looking for the 1v1 respects, but no more excuses is right here to try and even out the odds a little bit. Or rather, should I say, not even them out, swing them toward their favor.
You know, it's an even 1v1 until it's not a 1v1 anymore. Some decent damage going on the road to dissuade her from getting any more aggressive. And it's a posture dance right now. We're going to sit around and we're going to wait, see if we can get Baron down. But the 1v1 continues. Pantheon is going to ruin the 1v1 once again. I think E-Boy has like some idea that he's here, or maybe here. But now they definitely know the World Ender awaits and we fly in, try to catch you out. The Starfall is here, though. There is a big fight in the mid lane at the same time. We're going to take down E-Boy eventually if we can catch him. But the hook shot is massive. We hit that far away, and we're going to run far away.
And
this is a lot of time wasted. A lot of time spent chasing this E-Boy. And the boys are coming in. The boys are set up here. The damage comes down. The Stormbringer comes in. We bring the storm. We brought the team. The boys are here, and we will put you down. 1 for 2.
And there we go, Tad and E-Boy corralling around the top side of a Conduit, rising, done enough to buy the space for his team to join on up, join him, and knock down that stray Aatrox and Pantheon. Dragon will be their reward. 20-second death timer, so I don't think Baron is on the cards for Maelstrom, but certainly feels like they are one step closer to being able to take the big purple worm. If nothing else, they'll finally knock down this mid lane turret, open up the map. That's all tier 1 turrets down for Maelstrom Esports, and will allow them to, at the very least, extend that vision line, look for these picks, and potentially turn on the Baron if they can find one.
Right there, E-Boy bought that hook shot, by the way. I'm sure that was like max range. That hook shot does not go forever. Granted, I'm not the biggest Camille knower. I stay in my lane. I play like Aatrox, Viego, Kha'Zix top, and I troll around, right? That's all I do. But I don't think that hook shot goes that far, or goes any further than that. So that was just how much time was bought by him there is crucial for that going so well for them. And that opens up the Drake, because you can't take the 3v4, because you're probably just going to lose that, and then you lose Baron. Right? And now we're in the same situation where E-Boy is just looking to get aggressive again. Are we going to send Pantheon down? It doesn't look like it. Invade on the top side, and we're posturing around Baron once more.
And this is where Conduit have to be really, really careful, because if no more excuses shows on toward the bot side, potentially, it doesn't even have to be from Tad and E-Boy. It can be from something as small as a ward. That's the green light to go for the Nashor, as One Punch Zach is just going in, using the Stormbringer, but maybe he went too far.
We're in now, but we've got a shield now. That's a lot of damage coming our way. The Syndra putting in the work. It looks like Rainy Day's going to be the one who goes down, despite the engage being pretty big from One Punch Zach, and the fight is over.
Yep, 1 for 0, just a small little kill over to Conduit, but dissuades the engage, manages to get a nice counter punch. French Caps and Ventura have to be really, really careful. They both do have flash, but French Caps in particular, without that Spirit Rush, so there's a decent amount of, or lack thereof, of safety for this RE. Is just going to go for the reset and buy themselves a little bit more time while they wait for their support to respawn. A little bit surprised that Conduit actually aren't really going hard in the paint on this top side, looking to clear out some of that deep vision that was established by Maelstrom, and, you know, maybe just, put themselves in a better spot around this Baron. It feels like Maelstrom have really controlled this top side for the longest time, and I think them getting the Scuttle Crab, the one that reveals all the vision around them in a circle, will give them a good idea of how to lessen the control of this red team.
I mean, right there really wasn't too much vision that was there. I see the one ward in that bush, but
Just a
I
couple
don't see
flank
that
wards.
much. Yeah, that's all that really is there. So there's it's not the clean. It does open up the area, right? We know they can't see us when we're here, right? And we don't have to do this, little wraparound game because that's where they can see us. And it looks like on the bot side, we do have a bit of a fight going on, and it's a 2v1. Can Aatrox take it? Looks like it's not going his favor just yet. He will get brought down. Ventura gets another one for his pocket. But it looks like we're playing for Baron up top.
Yeah, this is risky. This is desperate. You're in a 4v5 situation. E-Boy has the teleport as well. If it was one punch Zach, then yeah, I could see maybe a world where you try to threaten that objective. But now your bot lane turret is being threatened. Look at how much damage. Combine the Camille Q with the 3 grubs, and they're going to have to call over Cody and to help, at the very least, subdue this split-pushing Camille. That's going to be another member from CRD showing and actually killing E-Boy off-screen. Now the Baron might be a little bit risky here for MES, but they've started it up. It's at 1,000 health, but it's slowly falling down, or quickly falling down.
It is in bit of danger of going the way of Maelstrom, but Maelstrom doesn't look like they're entirely committed to it. Grand Starfall comes down, and that means Pantheon's closer to it. Will Pantheon get it, or will Volibear get it?
Oh!
It looks like Varus takes it away, and that means that CRD is going to take it away, and it looks like they're taking away the fight, too. A lot of damage going into No More Excuses, and he's going to fall down. That is a 1 for 2 so far, and we're chasing One Punch Zach. Can we catch up to One Punch Zach? No. Target swaps away to Ventura, but the leap away is good, and the Blast Cone will keep the Rel safe for now. Looks like we are on the chase. We should hear One Punch Zach doing these camps right now. We do. Aatrox on the chase, though. Not going to be able to hook him back in. And everybody's going to reset. That is rough for Maelstrom.
Yeah. That certainly is rough. As Callie, of all people, the Varus is the one to actually take it away. We got Timu Gumiushi here in the Immortal Week 5 League. But now, more pressing things potentially on the horizon. Dragon is up. This would be sole for Maelstrom. They've respawned. They've even got the teleports coming through. It's 3v5.
We're catching them out. We're putting them into the Hextech ultimatum, and we're making an ultimatum right now. Kali goes down, but One Punch Zach takes another one down with him. Looks like we're catching one. E-Boy goes down, but we will go for the 2 for 1.
It isn't an ultimatum, it's a statement as Maelstrom Esports tear down Conduit Rising Dawn. As we're just going to get a quick little replay. Cody so strong on this Syndra, but it feels like has kind of been playing a garbage boy this game where you need them to deal with a lot of side lane threats. You need them to pick off a lot of people on the sides and can't really have them present for these team fights in a super relevant capacity. As let's take a look here. How close was the Baron to being taken? So both junglers take it down. Smite 132 auto there by the Varus. As that was just a bit unlucky for Maelstrom, but luckily they managed to, at the very least, change trajectory by getting that dragon. And I also think Ventura plays disengage on this Tristana really, really nicely.
I mean, right there, yeah, the push away, we just slow everybody down, make it so that we can't catch me, we can't catch the Rel, we can't catch our Volibear, we slow it down, but now we have the wrap around, we come back in, and we set up for this fight right here. Now break this one down for me, because a lot happened.
Yeah, so double teleport here, Vitality E-Boy, and then immediately after, we've got the Ahri. It's just too impossible, right? Because, I mean, your Pantheon went down, doesn't have the Grand Starfall, isn't even in range, I think, to use the Grand Starfall. So it's just an easy fight win for Maelstrom. It's CRD being way too overzealous, I think, with their pathing and just allowing for Maelstrom to take that route to surprise them. But now they've got the soul. We talked about how important this mountain was for both of these teams. It just gives so much more tankiness, particularly to very, very tanky toward this top side. And I feel like E-Boy and One Punch Zach are going to be extra annoying from here on out.
I mean, right now, you just have, look at that. I mean, this guy's supposed to be tanky, by the way. E-Boy just queued him and did like a quarter. Not the entire quarter, but you get my point, right? He just absolutely folded this guy. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's kind of this poke battle coming through. The Syndra doing a good deal of damage, but that is the Rel, so she's going to tank up quite a bit. Now, we have this sort of neutral state. Zach is trying to get things started, though. We do hit that E, but it doesn't seem like anything just yet. Pantheon with that in. A lot of damage going into Zach, but not enough damage to really, leave more than a scratch on him. It's real back and forth right now. Oh, the Roach hitting top.
Yep, so every single member of CRD is on the hunt for this Camille. But, I mean, there you go. That just immediately denies away the opportunity to get Tatted E-Boy. He makes his escape, and now the mid wave is pushing in. The bot waves are pushing in. The walls are closing in. As Conduit Rising Dawn just keep dropping pressure elsewhere to try and find picks on sides. It happened in that bot lane the first time on Tatted E-Boy. It happened again just now. It feels like it is denying them away so many resources, wasting so much time, and you can see the product of all of that. The turrets are being demolished by this Camille, just ignoring the Aatrox on the bottom hand of your screen.
Yeah, it just looks like Camille just walks up to it. She doesn't care that Aatrox is here kind of just wailing on her. All right, yeah, I'll lose like half my health, but I was already missing some of it. And I can just walk away from you. I hook shot away. Ari trying to throw some charms over, trying to throw some poke over, trying to catch somebody out, but won't find anybody just yet. Again, this little bit of poke battle between the two of them has just not been, we've got that turret on the top side, and I feel like we're content with that win. We did not get the Baron before, so we don't have, that extra buff. Looks like we're gonna reset now. We've got another minute before Baron spawns up again. And we saw last time, we talked about the vision, right? Where do you want to see, some more setup from Maelstrom to actually get this Baron, secured this time?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the Baron that I'm worried about, but it's also the Elder spawning in a little less than 2 minutes. You would think with, a Mountain Dragon and a 8-2 and 8 Tristana that is full build at this point in time, Maelstrom would be able to team fight, potentially look to really close this game out, but Conduits are really, really smart with the vision. They are also, I think, just playing the map really nicely. I say this, and Dunzy gets engaged on and taken to about half HP. I mean, Maelstrom, just team fight, my guys. End it. You are so much stronger than the opposition.
Right now, we just have this. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to bite off more than you could chew and then take it down, take a spill because of it. Because if a fight is lost like super hard, then the momentum completely shifts. We take Baron, we take this, but it looks like we're shifting the momentum. We're putting in an ultimatum. We're taking them right now. We're putting them down. We're not putting them down. We're getting popped down. E-Boy gets taken down, put down. Baron is secured by Maelstrom, but they lose their top laner. Mid lane fight, though, engage some good damage onto Zach. Zach has the Storm, bring her out. We're not bringing the Storm anywhere. We're bringing it away. But no execute means that there's going to be some good damage on a Ventura. In return, they're trying to chase him down and pop right into the back of the head right there. Ventura falls. The Baron was secured, but 2 lives were secured on the back for CRD. They're looking for another. But can they catch this Ahri? French caps will slip away.
Yeah, and I mean, E-Boy and Ventura, they're going to be down by the time this Elder comes back up, so it's going to be a numbers disadvantage for MES if they choose to fight for this bot side objective. They also have no vision, particularly in the river. They do have a couple of flank wards, and maybe an opportunity is there for the Camille to try and look for a surprise. But quickly, we're going to go on to the replay. And I just want to see E-Boy get taken down here. Look at the healing done by this Aatrox. Sundered Sky, Sterex Gauge, all of this coming to a head. And I thought for a moment No More Excuses was going to say, all right, I got to ult. But the Sundered Sky keeps him alive. The Redemption keeps him alive. The Pantheon is just basically there for moral support as we go back to live, possibly. And it is Elder secured by CRD, so they get the big objective. Now they've really just got to do what must be done and shove that buff into the faces of Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs.
Right now, especially with this Drake, we have a bit of a an even point, because yes, we have Baron on a couple members, we have it on 3, but if we bite off a bit more and they do enough damage to us, we are just gonna get popped. Right? And the Syndra has been pumping in numbers. This Varus has been able to, tag us down when we're low. We've got good CC set up. we've got a lot of, lockdown that could just get us destroyed. Right? So we have to be very, very careful on this push. We have to make sure that we're doing it correctly. And it looks like Aatrox is trying to correct the wave state on top side to make sure that Camille doesn't just take it away. But now you see how they're pushing in. CRD looking for a bit more.
And CRD have to try and force the issue for Maelstrom now. I mean, you have the Elder. It's going to be up for about another 90 seconds. You need to fight. You need to look for these angles. You have to just shove it in the faces of your opposition. It's a little bit difficult because that Baron is still active, so having to carve through these waves is going to take a little bit more time than I think Conduit would like, but still, you can see just how scared MES are playing. They know that the Elder is not to be trifled with, so they're going to surrender this tower on the bot side. Still a minute until the Elder Dragon falls. Codeine has the Transcendent stack, so this Syndra, pretty much a Q, a W, and an E, or heck, you could probably just ult them, depending on who it is on the bot side, because that should be combined with the execute from your ult, the Elder, and now all of the damage that you have with Death Cap. I think that might be enough to just 100-0 straight up most of the members of MES, but we'll see if that possibility is even there, because they're still playing extremely safe.
I mean, right now they are just kind of dancing back and forth. They don't want to go over and you just don't want to walk into this Drake. You have this situation where you could just get killed because of that extra threshold of HP that they don't have to go through because they have the Drake. And they do get this bot side turret and the inhib. So now there is an opening. If they lose a fight, the game could just be over. That base has been broken. And now, looks like a bit of posturing. Do we catch one? We caught them all. All of them stopped the back except for the Syndra.
Dunzy.
The Syndra is gone, and so is the Vars and the Aatrox.
No.
We caught two, and we're on the chase. We're bringing the pain. We're going to bring the storm. Camille is here looking to catch this Pantheon. We have the ultimatum, and the ultimatum is your demise, your doom. E-Boy secures one, and we're looking to chase down the other. We're trying to chase down this Braum. We'll find the Braum. We'll catch him in the corner. We'll stuff him in the corner. You may be big, but you'll fit in this locker just fine.
Yep, Maelstrom perfectly time when to go in, and their reward is 2 members down for the next 40 or so seconds on the side of Conduit Rising Dawn. This should give them the opportunity to push in this mid wave, establish control of this top side. We're about a minute away from this Baron spawning. The wave is coming in through mid, and you can see they might not be interested in establishing a foothold in that river, but instead trying to break down the base and potentially even up those inhib takes. Oh my god!
Ori gets absolutely popped. Popped, locked, and put down. Volibear meets the same fate. This Syndra dropping nuclear bombs right on their skulls. We're throwing another one down on a Rainy Days triple kill, going to the pockets of Codeine. We're looking to make it a quadra kill. Aatrox, the World Ender awaits. You will fight or you will be forgotten. Pushed away. You cannot avoid this fight. We will chase you down. Varus on the run. Looks like they will not be chasing her down, as I thought they would be. But it looks like they're going to push down this mid lane. At least Varus will be.
I mean, they have double teleport as well. You can see Swolz is resetting, getting a better health bar, and then is going to be joining his team in the mid lane. He's got about 20 seconds away from those death timers. E-Boy maybe trying to run interference on the way, but his hook shot gets interrupted.
It gets interrupted. He gets caught, and he gets locked down, put down. And that is an easy shutdown right there, shutting down the machine. And the machine was Maelstrom Esports, but we got the Starfall, we got the Exhaust. And while we do have this Resurrect for a little bit, we'll just wait on top of you. Ace secured, game secured very, very shortly as this inhib falls. We're going to get the Nexus soon. And this is CRD. Waited a long time to get this game started. It may not be ended just yet.
They don't have a wave.
See this 3. Yeah, no. This is, yeah, no, they don't have a wave. The wave's coming in now. We got a back and forth a bit. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to push this in and then deal with the wave clear of the Ari. The Volibear as well is extremely tanky. Here we go.
He goes in with a Stormbringer, and the Storm was brought right onto his skull. He's put down by Codeine. The charm is good on a No More Excuses, but French Caps gets his GA popped, and that means he gets rezzed up and kept alive for now. But there's still one Nexus turret there, and there is no wave. There is no wave still. And that means this turret is going to live for now. And nobody...
Look at the flank. Look at the flank.
Oh, we do not look for. We got to try and catch them out. We're not here with E-Boy, though. E-Boy just understands. Look, the boys are not going to be able to catch up in time. Let's not throw our lives away. If I throw my life away, the game could just be over. And that's the smart play. Elder Drake is coming up, though.
Look, though, the turret gets taken by the minions, and it's just MES having to play Call of Duty Zombies, take down the minions before they can hit your Nexus. Elder is up. Baron is there as well. Noah Jungler, no problem. Conduit rising. Dawn, this is a 46-minute banger to start us off here. Valve and CRD have the keys to the kingdom to finally win out in this match. The question is, can they finally unlock it?
I mean, bro, they almost made us wait 40 minutes for the game to start. Now they're giving us a 45-minute banger. You know, this barn burner right now is a between these two teams. It is absolutely wild that it's this back and forth, but it looks like we might have another wild situation here. Pantheon getting charmed out and stunned out, knocked into the air, but Rel is the target. Rel getting put in a lot of stress. That means that Elder Drake is going to put her into the threshold. Ari, the next target, getting pushed away. She slowed down a little bit, but it looks like the teams are content to reset for now.
I mean,
Tristana.
Look, it's in the base. I mean, look at how much damage this Tristana is doing. Will knock down the turret. Is going to look for the inhib, but the bomb doesn't go on the inhib. It's just certain death. Goodbye, Ventura. Balls in your face. Are you all right? You have to go see a doctor for that. Here we go. Baron is the target. The TP from behind. Look at the bases.
Stormbringer comes in, but it doesn't look like anything's being brought but the doom of Maelstrom, because there is no storm. It just looks like CRD is just making sure that the dawn is here. The sunshine at the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel is bright, and it is brought to you by Codeine here as the game is overtaken by CRD in 47 minutes.
A nail-biting game number one. Back and forth between these two teams. But all in all, I think it was Codeine with this Syndra pick finally able to be relevant in a lot of these team fights, one-shotting the backline of Ventura on this Tristana, who got 48,000 damage at the end of the game, mind you, just absolutely demolishing anybody in his path. Really close game. The damage numbers, I feel like, would make you believe that Maelstrom could win this game number one, but it's Conduit that managed to snap up the win at the end of the day in what was almost a 50-minute banger. So we are going to take it to a small little break while we wait for the teams to hopefully get into the game a little bit faster this time. But as Valve said before we went into this first game, it will be 3 bans taken away from here on out for Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs due to their tardiness for that first game after the draft was completed. So no more beating around the bush. We will see you guys all on the other side. Hang tight.
like crazy, oh, crazy, oh, crazy, crazy, oh, crazy, oh, crazy, 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 crazy,
Welcome back, everybody, to the Titans Esports League, the Immortal division this time around. Conduit Rising Dawn against Maelstrom Esports. I'm not a Valve game, joined by Quacks here, and I just want to clarify really quick before we get into picks and bans that because of Maelstrom's late arrival, they have lost all 3 of their first bans for this game. Sucks, but show up on time. And before we go in, I do need to say one more thing. The summer merch has dropped. On your screen now, you will see the link for the summer merch. So if you're looking for some Titans Esports merch, head over to FOFesports.com/Titan. Pick up some of the merch, and it's pretty clear. I've checked it out myself, and may or may not have placed an order. It's pretty clean, and it's actually real nice. Let me take off my ad voice real quick. It's actually pretty nice stuff, and very well priced too. So go check it out and support the league, support all that's going on here, this great community that we've got going on. Really, really appreciate it. And Quacks, now We're in the game. You've got no bans. What do we do? What's the thought process here?
I mean, it's a tough look, right? Especially, mentally as well as physically, right? I mean, you don't have any bans, and that's tough for any team to overcome, even one that is 4-0, hasn't dropped a single game in the entire season, and is, playoffs bound. It's tough to recover from something like that, especially after losing that first game. But then you add into the mix the fact that Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs are sitting at 0-4, bottom of Group A, and if they lose this next one, they'll be at 0-5, which almost certainly means elimination from playoffs contention. So the stakes are really, really high for this team, and they are coming in with a lot of disadvantages for this game too.
But hey, you know what disadvantages give us? It gives us inspiration. It can give us a bit of, it makes us want to try harder to win here. We'll see what CRD does decide to take out of the game. And this is I believe, a fearless. One of these divisions is a fearless, but this one is one of the fearless. So we see the picks that were from the last game down here are no longer available. So the Braum, the Tristana, all that stuff, that Syndra that dropped nuclear bombs last game. Yeah, we can't have that anymore. So we see the Zac, the Lucian, and, we'll see what they go for in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to also say that, having to run the clock out a little bit does mean that we aren't going to have a ton to talk about on the side of Maelstrom Esports, at least in regards to these first few minutes, simply because no bans are coming through. On the other side, though, CRD still on that blue side, mind you. Conduit Rising Dawn banning away the Zac, the Lucian, and the Ivern. Same as last game. Nothing has changed. And now, freeing up a lot of, strong picks here for CRD to pick on this blue side. I stumbled over my words just a little bit, and they're going to insta-lock that Nautilus, really spelling out that they are going to look to really go for that engage and just try and be in the faces of Maelstrom as much as humanly possible.
I've seen this Nautilus go to multiple. Traditionally, it goes support, from what I see. However, in casting Titan, I have seen this Nautilus go to the jungle before, which is it's a little spicy. I'll call it spicy. We see the Xayah Rakan, which means this bot lane might be a little spicy between those two. But this Nautilus, I correct in thinking that it's going support most likely.
Yeah, almost certainly, especially paired up with the Kai'Sa. This is a really aggressive bot lane duo here by Conduit Rising Dawn. And also, now I'm really looking at just what entrances are you going to give this Kai'Sa with that Void Rush into a lot of these fights. And it does look like Wukong is going to be the immediate snag up for the jungler of CRD. And just saving their, solo lane picks from here on out, as it is going to be for One Punch Zac here in game number 2, is tried and true Skarner. And this pick has seen, a lot of nerfs, a lot of questions about how strong it is in competitive settings nowadays. Still has that lockdown, still has that impale, which can really turn a team fight, but I don't really think necessarily has that damage in the mid game that a lot of people are used to. Skarner can still hit like a truck early on and can still really deliver on that CC train, but the numbers have been significantly skewed to where he really falls off a cliff once some of those, champions such as the Wukong get 2 items and can really start to overpower him. So this certainly is also a matchup that I don't necessarily think is the best for Skarner, as Wukong can just clone and eat the Ishtal's impact. So it's a tough matchup for One Punch Zac, and overall, I think No More Excuses is going to have a much better time interacting with his lanes in this game.
The Galio is going to be what is picked up for French Caps here, and allows the, I'll talk about that in a second. That also, I got the same reaction in my head right there, but the Galio allows a bit more, aggression out of the mid lane, as opposed to, the Ahri does allow a bit of aggression, but the Galio is, a get in there kind of pick. Cassiopeia, on the other hand, talk to me.
I mean, this is a really good pick into Galio, a lot of consistent damage. Obviously, Galio is the answer into a lot of magic damage picks, but I feel like this is one such case where Galio's not going to be able to do much, right? His usual engage with the Justice Punch, not going to be able to go through the Miasma if Codeine can time that one right, and should be able to just deal a lot of consistent damage to this Galio, who is melee. He has to walk up and take punish from Cassiopeia if he wants to get those resources in lane. So every time he walks up, he has a chance of getting poisoned, of getting burned, and of just getting taken down in the HP department. What I really am curious about, though, is Tad and E-Boy on this Darius against this Ambessa.
Well, we're going to have to see exactly how everything pans out, comes together with these compositions, but we are going to have to throw it to a quick break before that happens. So don't go anywhere too far. Maybe grab yourself a snack, for the barn burner that was last game might be another barn burner here. We'll see you really, really soon. We are back after that short delay. We're back in this game, and we were talking about these compositions, talking about these characters. I'm most interested in this Cassiopeia. We both kind of perked up when we saw it, and with how crazy coding went last game, I really want to see what this champ can do. What are you expecting from it from this game?
A lot of consistent damage, a lot of bullying in the early lane phase, and French Cap's gonna have to be really careful about walking up for minions. And this is probably gonna mean one other thing relative to the map, and that is going to be a lot of priority likely given over to Conduit Rising Dawn in the mid lane. So a lot of aggressive plays, I think, possible for No More Excuses. And Dunsey as well on this Nautilus, if he wants to link up with his jungler, could also do that. But I do think that these guys are on a little bit of a timer to make something happen with those aggressive plays, potentially trying to throw a wrench into the plans and just peaceful life of this Scorpion Skarner. And that is the hero's entrance from French Caps, right? Once that level 6 is unlocked for Galio, the chances of being able to successfully pull off a invade or aggressive play into the territory of MES significantly goes down. So levels 1 through 5 here for CRD, you gotta pull the trigger, get this cast open and early on, or get her ahead as well, and just try to make as much happen on the map with the priority you're going to be given in mid.
I mean, right here, you could see that Galio has made the adaptation to make sure he's got the Doran shield, just so that he's taking all this damage.
Yep.
He wants to take less. That he's, in this matchup, he's going to take a ton of poke. He needs to make sure he's not just dying from the poke every single time. And you mentioned the bot lane aggression. Yeah. You can see it right here. That's a lot of bot lane aggression, just the outpush. There's a lot of damage threat here, combo potential with this hook into the damage from the Kai'Sa. But you said this mid lane, really going to be the focus for CRD. All this poke that could come from this Cassiopeia onto this Galio could open up plays, this avenue. Last time, top lane and bot lane, both for the different teams, were their main focus. But we see Darius kind of overshadowed by the Cassiopeia. This matchup against Mbessa, how does it usually go?
This is a matchup that I actually think favors Darius until we do see the level 6 come through from Ambessa. I think a lot of matchups kind of turn once that public execution is unlocked. Ambessa really liking those extended trades, just using all those cooldowns and trying to combo them together. And I actually think that Zwolhez is aware of this because he rocks the electrocute. So he's looking for those short little trades instead of something like the Conqueror where you want to go for those long extended trades, because Darius is the king of that. He loves stacking up those hemorrhage hits and being able to just bleed you out quite literally in the trades. So really good adaptation from the Ambessa, but you really have to be careful about getting hit by that apprehend and potentially put into a situation where you are forced to fight this guy for more than 4 seconds.
Looks like we're fighting for maybe more than 4 seconds here as we get some damage on Ventura. Ventura trying to turn it around, though. Barriers here. Can Barrier save you? It looks like it will stall sometimes. Xayah uses one of her own, but will not be able to catch him. Wukong gets the first blood right there. Kali will live for now. And Rainy Day gonna have to slip away for Rainy Day. Keep himself safe for now.
Really unfortunate there for Ventura. I think if he just allowed that Q to go through, probably could have gotten a return kill onto Kali, but wasn't able to get it done. A quick little replay of that bot side play. And this initially is actually quite difficult for Conduit's bot side to play because Kali just now hits level 3. They managed to get that timer perfectly on lock. Ventura is dealing so much damage. The Blade Caller, and as well as that ward being put in the bush, could have easily spelt the end for this Kai'Sa and turned this play into a 1-for-1. And then just look at the Q go through. 1-2. If he is allowed to walk up there and isn't killed as the cast of that ability goes through, I actually think those would hit and probably net a 1-for-1 play on the bot side. But it's a kill going over to No More Excuses. We said that this Skarner was going to have a much better time, or we said that this Wukong, rather, was going to have a much better time against this Skarner. This was a good matchup for him. And starting off with a kill, certainly the way you want to start off this game for CRD.
I mean, definitely. And, you know, a lot of the time we want to see the AD carry get the kill, but there's no position where Kali doesn't die if he tries to play for that kill. So giving it to the Wukong there, I think is great, especially when you have this favorable matchup into the Skarner. A lot of damage in the top side, though, and Bessa looking to turn this around on Darius. We talked about the favorability in this matchup, but we're not going to be able to catch up to him yet. Ghost pop to make sure E-Boy slips away. Flash used as well. And man, putting in the pain. Oh, another engage in the mid lane, though. The taunt is there, and Skarner's looking to impale one, but he will get the clone. That's an easy catch right there. It looks like we're on the chase down. Galio with the dash in, but he's off the mark completely, which means one punch Zach will be taken down eventually. The poison is enough to take him down, and we will sink away. Scorpions maybe, you know, using poison sometimes, but he's not immune to it himself. Cassiopeia on the chase. Flash in front of the dash. Beautiful. And Caps will fall down. Put a cap on that. Lock him down.
And Codeine is just slithering his way through this game on the Cassiopeia. 2-0 start, 20 CS ahead of the Galio. No flash for French Caps as well for another 5 minutes. Teleport on cooldown. He's going to miss this entire wave. It's a disaster for MES here in game 2, as it might be even worse now.
Looks like it gets a good knockup, but is it going to be enough? It does not look like it's going to be enough. There's a lot of damage, but it is a good turnaround. Ventura puts one down, and it looks like Dunzy will put Ventura down with that big old hook. But the Rakan returns one back. Kali will shut down one, but Codeine falls in the mid lane to the Skarner in the meantime. We didn't catch it on cam because we're too busy watching that bot lane brawl. But in the mid lane, at the meantime, we catch this Cassiopeia lacking a little bit, trying to get a little bit of extra CS, a little bit of farm, but Galio comes in, catches, but the Skarner was already on the way, getting a good grab and the lockdown. Bottom side, though, there's a lot of damage between this 1v1. The Skarner getting the favorability of this trade for now, but it looks like it's turned around completely. The barrier popped, but it didn't even look like it was needed because he just puts down, he squashes the bug.
Yup, the Scorpion goes down for the second time this game, and now Tatted E-Boy is looking for the fight, but he misses the heal. Zwolz has help as well. No more excuses is here.
It looks like there's some good damage back on the Abessa, and the Abessa gets the guillotine right to the skull, and the breed down means she gets bled out and put down. E-Boy just trying to run him by time. Is he going to execute the tower? He will not. No more excuses. Gets it. But he knew he was dead. So he was just like, let's see if I could buy time or maybe get the executed tower, but no. E-Boy hit him got hit too soon.
Callie has to be really careful here. Rainy Days has the quickness on lock, so will they easily be able to run down this Kai'Sa if he steps up too far. Does have the killer instinct, but no flash, no barrier, lacking in defenses significantly. So it's going to be zoned away from this turret. It's going to be 2 plates actually over to MES's bot lane. Ventura, really, I feel the only one that is somewhat in contention gold-wise with his counterpart on this Xayah. So being able to deny resources from this Kai'Sa, a crucial step in MES clawing their way back into this game.
I mean, you said it. It is really just, we'll look at a claw back, and we'll claw back with some damage, some pain, some damage, and some shutdown right here. We put down Kali, and we get ourselves a Void Grub on the top side in the meantime. And that is, man.
So it'll be a little bit more difficult for Ventura to farm up some of these plates because no grubs for Maelstrom. But still, I mean, really good engage there by Rainy Days. Manages to get the CC down. Kali as well, with no flash at the time, really had nowhere to go. Does have that summoner spell back up now, so there's a little bit of extra safety going into the laning phase, coming back after dying, as well as having that BF sword. So there is a lot of damage coming through from the Kai'Sa in order to fight back, but it still feels like you are behind compared to the Xayah. You really want to try and change that. You can see that No More Excuses is on the bot side, will be pathing down, so there is ample opportunity for this Wukong to influence and swing the pendulum in CRD's favor.
And right now, you have this sort of
brawly
top lane. Ghost popped. It looks like we're getting the public execution, putting him down the other side, but Tatted E-Boy, 6'3", he's tall, he's mighty, he's trying to put you down, and the guillotine will put you down. Get popped and chopped.
Really good aggression there from Tatted E-Boy, and this is kind of the difficulty with playing against a Darius, especially when you don't have flash. You can outrun him, even as Ambessa, one of the most mobile top laners in the game. He will run you down. It doesn't even matter if all he has is a longsword and a ruby crystal. Those hemorrhage stacks deal so much damage. You can see that Zwol's on the top side was really trying to time out the bleed and maybe reset it so that he could look to try and fight back, but he manages to apprehend him in, gets 4 stacks, and then one more auto does it. 5 stacks, execute, easy kill for the Darius. Now 2-1 on the scoreboard.
I mean, that it's just kind of as easy as it gets right there. Chase him down, get a solo kill, but we're looking to chase down this Rakan. The dash out is good, so it's a little safety right there. But we see the Skarner coming down with the pop of the little plant. I forgot the name of right there, but the stun is there onto Zach. But Zach might be looking for a return on this chase around. No, just a little bit of poke back and forth. Nobody getting too active just yet. They tried to catch some good damage on the Skarner, but they really didn't get anything crazy. Now, this bot side posturing, who do you think wants this fight more?
I mean, I think both teams want the fight, but realistically, it's going to be who gets this dragon, and it's definitely going to be CRD. French Caps obviously does have the hero's entrance available, but I think if Codeine is, able to kind of roam wild and free without a care in the world, at least relative to the laning phase, then it does not matter. Here comes the ultimates. Here comes MES.
Hero's entrance is what we are and what we have. We get it and we save our Skarner. We're looking for more, though. We get the disengage on the Skarner, and it looks like, no, we don't want any more. We get our pick, and we're fine with that. Meanwhile, on the top side, the brawl continues as we get a good reset on the side.
Oh!
Oh!
Top side solo kill. The bleed. It's going to do it. It's going to do it. 1 for 1.
Blood for blood right
side.
there. Aggression on the bot side, though. The root comes down onto the Rakan, but there's going to be no more. There's some good damage onto this. This lane is so explosive, man.
It absolutely is, but Callie is going to be forced to reset. That going to be canceled there by Dunsey. At this point, I feel like it's probably just worth it for you as the Nautilus to stay in the area. Kind of going back a bit toward that dragon fight. I mean, we just saw how squishy No More Excuses actually was. He goes on in, but isn't able to handle the CC lock of the Skarner. Now, though, they're really trying to go hard in the paint. Teleport, double teleport coming through here on the bot side, but Ventura has ult.
We're talking about paint, and we're going to paint the floor with your blood right here. We're not going to catch Rakan, though. Skarner on the chase looking to catch one, but won't get anybody just yet. But Ventura does fall to Codeine, which means this dragon is open, and it's already started by the Wukong. Wukong putting it down means that it's going to go in the pocket of CRD.
Yeah, so that's 2 dragons over to CRD early, and it is indeed feats 3 grubs, 2 dragons, first to 3 kills as well. And really not a ton given over on this top side. Obviously, Tatted E-Boy is going to be able to get that turret play. He might even be able to get one more here, but they don't have the grubs. They don't have that enhancement to take these plates much faster. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a little bit of gold injected into the Darius, but definitely more given over to Conduit Rising Dawn on that bot play. Not only the dragon, but shutting down Ventura on this Xayah all the more.
I mean, yeah, we just have this volatile game right now because we expected it to be a bit more in favor of the bot side of CRD, but then we have, yes, it is, but then it isn't, but then it is. But we look at this top side, a bit of posturing now. In the bot side, there's even more aggression, but I don't think anything's going to come of it just yet. We're just making space for this turret to go down, and Ventura's going to get it real quick.
Yeah, so Ventura gonna get the first turret on the bot side, significantly ahead of his counterpart in gold, being able to get most of those plates before they fall. He's gonna reset, spend some of that gold. Also is only around 20 CS away from completing that cull, so that'll be a big injection for the Xayah. No More Excuses is really greeting for those Krugs. Doesn't get apprehended over the wall by Tatted E-Boy. Is a lucky that didn't happen. But is getting a bit getting taught a bit of a lesson on that side of the map, as now Zwolz is going to try and continue trading with this Darius. Herald will be up in a little less than a minute, actually like 10 seconds from here on out. You could see both of these teams not underestimating the importance of this objective, all of them gravitating toward this part of the map.
But we're gravitating towards Tatted E-Boy. He's just too cute. He's too cute, and we need to take him down. The public execution is off the mark completely.
Wide. Yeah, very
Past my
wide.
window. Ew. That was so toxic. I'm sorry. I don't know if you get the full meme on that, but that is just, oh my god. It's a good emote if you haven't seen it.
But it's probably going to be enough for them to secure the Herald. I mean, One Punch Zach is going to throw a boulder at it, and you know, it didn't work for Toph, so it's not going to work for MES. They're going to get that Herald, another objective into their back pocket. Now, the big question kind of becomes, where do they want to place this objective? On one hand, I think obviously the most agreed upon place to break down the tier 1 turrets is in that mid lane. It opens up the most map, and it just allows you to roam freely, as Codeine is not allowed to roam this freely.
He's not allowed to roam freely, and that means he's not going to be free. The Petrifying Gaze is popped, but you're getting turned to stone here.
Yup, Codeine going down yet again. Now, 4 members of MES in the mid lane. Quickness was used by Rainy Days, so they might not be able to dive this turret as easily, but the health bars are really, really tanky for the Skarner and this Galio. One Punch Jack is going to go in, but he is going to whiff. So, no turret, no kill, no threat of the dive, and now no more excuses is actually going to sniff this one out and join his team to make sure that this part of the map can stand for them.
I mean, right now, we just have this... you see that they're trying to get something here, but they really can't. They seem to be somewhat content with their situation. They are a little bit... Maelstrom, by the way, I'm speaking of. They're a little bit ahead in gold. Tiny little sprinkling ahead of gold. They got a little extra pocket change than CRD. But...
yeah.
I feel like the momentum is still kind of in the favor of CRD. I think just Cody needs to be a bit more careful with his positioning.
Absolutely. I think Codeine has been roaming a little bit too wild and free in this game, and we talked about the importance of getting this Cassiopeia ahead, not only because of how hard it counters the mobility of MES, but also because you're basically the sole source of magic damage. You're going to try and chunk out French Caps, but here comes One Punch Zach. Dragon going to be up in about 30 seconds, so both teams really chomping at the bit to get something done ahead of time.
Doesn't really look like they're going to get anything. I say that as we hook one, we catch one, and we're going to lock her down, but we're here with the Rakan. That is too much damage to take just yet. But we are going to live shout out barrier real quick, but we're going to shout out as we take the pain of that stone meeting our skull right there. But in the meantime, Ventura falls to no more excuses. And the excuse this time is that we didn't protect our AD carry. Snatch, grab, and no clone will be saved in this time. We grab him again. We get the slam down with the hero's entrance.
What?
But he lives! He lives! Zach is on the chase, though. Zach is trying to hunt him down. He will not catch him. He's barely alive right now, but Nautilus,
Codeine, deal damage, please!
Away. There is just not... there's no damage coming out from this Cassiopeia. Finally, there will be somebody who goes down, and that is One Punch Zach.
I mean, One Punch Zach goes down. Now, where is Rainy Days going? Nobody knows. I don't even think he knows. As public execution, I feel unnecessary, but still going to secure a double for Zwol's Herald. Going to break open the mid lane. Codeine gonna drive by real quick. Tatted E-Boy is just gonna watch him go like a kid watching the ice cream truck pass his neighborhood. But this time he gets no lick of anything. Codeine is just gonna escape for the time being. Dragon though, still up, still available. You can see Wolves is on the top side, so maybe CRD potentially comfortable with surrendering this one, as they don't have, I would say, their main source of damage active for this fight, if it is a fight.
You know, you were wondering where that guy was going. He went into the dirt, the soil. He became part of it, right there, because he just fell down. And I mean, that was just a scrap all over right there. But it looks like we might have another scrappy situation here as we posture. We posture for a fight that we seem to want if we're Maelstrom here. Skarner putting a little bit in, but we're in with the Galio. The Galio getting locked down. French Caps looking like he's French gone. French bread, maybe we bake it real quick. And that means the fight is on. But Darius Darius gets a good pluck in, pluck down, slam down. And that's a guillotine strike.
Absolutely, and now Zwolz has found himself in the mid lane, but it is a even, or rather disadvantageous fight. They're down in numbers. Dragon is active. There's no jungler for CRD, so getting this objective is a afterthought for Conduit at this point. So a big win here for MES, and off the hands of Tatted E-Boy, managing to find a double hook into the enemy team, taking down 2. Initially, a really bad fight, it felt like, for them, as well as he's going to get eyes on the Cassiopeia, but it's a 1v2. He has to be careful, but French Caps does have ultimate, is in the area.
You'd think he's butter because he's getting melted right through, and that is
wow,
absolutely shredded.
Absolutely shredded and breaded. That is just another kill going over to CRD. Kali as well, now with the Yuntal as well as the Zeal, dealing a lot of critical strike in this game. The CRD, I think they might have found One Punch Man, taking his camps on the top side, because they're just going straight for the Otacon without a care in the world. They know they have a numbers advantage as well, so there's nothing to stop them from taking this objective.
Looks like they are going to try to stop, though. Maelstrom is in, and there's a good amount of CC. The suppression is there on 2.
Impale.
It is a public execution that tags 1. One Punch Zach will take down 1, but will fall down in a second afterwards. The Atacon is secured by the Wukong, but the chase is on. Rakan knocks up 1, and the taunt is in on 2. Galio putting in a ton of damage, ton of work. Cassiopeia shut down real good. And Bessa on the chase.
Oh my god, the dodges.
Down. It is a lot of dodging, but that you can't dodge the big circle. And Ventura puts down the Mbessa.
This game is just kind of, sort of forming out to be Conduit Rising Dawn versus Ventura versus the Xayah. It is a question of whether Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs can protect their AD carry enough to where he can carry the fights with those Blade Callers and, have enough peel to really pop off in a lot of these 5v5s, or if CRD can find the angle to get into the back line. And in that case, it definitely was the former, as another couple of kills given over to the Xayah. Now, Tad and E-Boy on the top side, likely going to be able to finish off this tier 1 turret, open up more space for MES on this top side. We aren't going to see a decent amount of attention given over those bot lane objectives now with the Otacon down and the Dragon down for a little under 3 minutes. So that means a lot of vision needing to be established on that part of the map, and MES setting up for that and setting up to potentially threaten the Baron should they get a couple of picks in the future.
I mean, that's just kind of right now. There's so much brawling, so much scrapping in this game right now. And I feel like the CRD should benefit a bit more from that, but it really just isn't working that way. You see E-Boy, though, getting gone on by 1, and there's another coming in on the way. Some good damage onto him, but E-Boy is able to slip away for now. But on the bot side, Mbessa getting gone on in the same. Will she have the same fate? Suppressed, locked down, but not a lot of damage going her way. Decent, but not too crazy. And
ooh, good use of the ult.
That
to
was
go unstoppable. Yes,
yeah,
that was beautiful there from Zwolz to escape One Punch Zach's grasp. You can see on the other side of the map, CRD taking down that tier 1 top lane turret. So the top side of the map really opening up for both sides of this game. But not a ton of vision established. You can see like a deep control ward there near the bush on the red buff of Maelstrom Esports' side, but pretty dark for both of those teams beyond just that one. I feel like they really want to start changing that because nothing's really standing in their way.
Right now, there really isn't anything standing. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself, right? Maelstrom is looking to, kind of get in the situation where they can get ahead. There's only been 1,000 gold between these. I feel like that's been the biggest lead between these two teams in this entire game. And it's, you want more, right? And I want more from Cody. Cody literally won them the game last time.
Yeah, he did. And he won. I mean, he had such a big explosive early game as well. But other than, ever since then, he's been caught on rotation a lot. I think being really disrespectful in the way he's been pathing around the map. And he's going to have to be extra careful this time around, as Dragon will be up in about 30 seconds. You can see that Maelstrom Esports Dwarfs have significantly geared up around this part of the map. They push out that mid wave. They've established some form of vision, and Tatted E-Boy under the turret wants to go for the trade, but it seems like it's to his detriment at the end of all of that.
I am kind of surprised that E-Boy is still so willing to fight in this situation. I understand that it's kind of just, I guess, his play style. He likes to brawl. But in this situation, what is stopping, somebody from just coming up top?
Oh my god, what a ward.
Yeah, that stops the thought process of getting aggressive here. But it looks like we're posturing around Baron as this dragon's being taken. We're looking for a fight in the mid lane now. Do we catch anybody out yet, though? There's some good damage possibility coming here, but the Skarner isn't able to catch up to anybody just yet. Now the boys of CRD are here, but nothing yet is going too crazy.
Yeah, they're just going to push down the mid wave. I mean, you could see that one punch stack is also behind this fight, so isn't really going to be able to assist in alleviating pressure on that part of the map. It's just going to take away the crab. And, not only is this a good read on where the vision for CRD could be, but it also denies CRD from finding vision placed by Maelstrom and really lowers the chances that they can do something like sneak a Baron or establish vision, at least without Maelstrom actually knowing about it. As the fact still remains, though, that Conduit are on Soul Point, and Maelstrom haven't really been able to look for a lot of those fights that we saw in the mid game that gave them their successful ability to maintain a relative parity of this gold lead.
I mean, right now, I feel like they're just trying. I feel like they're hurting themselves more than anything by being so unwilling to go in here, right? Because I understand, well, you're going for the Wukong. I feel like that's just the wrong target.
But look at what you're giving up. Look at the bot side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Bessa is just walking it down now. We got to get something done on this top side. We can't just sit on our hands. We either have to take a fight or we have to pull this Baron. We have to do something here. We need to get something done.
There we
Looks
go.
like
That
we
works.
get something done. We got something done, and it was the Nautilus. He's done. Now this Baron's opened up.
Yeah, the Baron's opened up, and you can see we're actually seeing it on the bot side of the screen where they took down the Nautilus. They just locked him down, didn't really have any escape, so he goes down. Baron, though, I like this move from Conduit. They are saying we are at a disadvantage. Wolves on the other side is also just heavily pushing and, putting pressure on to MES. We can take down turrets, but they might have overstayed their welcome because now French Caps is on the hunt. All of MES is on the hunt, and they have the numbers advantage. So Taddy Boy isn't here.
There's some good damage, though, onto the Galio, but the hero's entrance is back in. The suppression
tail
is there, and we got the lockdown to match it. Not just yet, but we're trying to chase down this Cassiopeia. We're trying to chase down this Wukong. We can't keep up with anybody just yet, but Darius is here. Pulls into with that apprehend, and we execute the other one. We apprehend, and we execute with the guillotine right there. And that is a lockdown after getting that Baron, and that is going to be a big step for Maelstrom.
2 more kills over to Maelstrom. They have all 5 members alive. They're pushing down in the mid lane with this Baron buff. CRD don't have a ton of reliable wave clear, especially when it's just the Ambessa, so they are going to look for an aggressive play. It's 2v3, but Ventura is so healthy, has the flash, the barrier, has the ultimate as well. So you're never engaging onto the Xayah. You just have to try and weather the storm, and the Maelstrom storm seems like it is showing no signs of stopping.
Right now, they don't. I like that they're staying with E-Boy now, because E-Boy has turned these fights around. So I don't know. Every time we've said it's just the apprehends have caught 2 people. It's been 2 people, and that's just like a requirement that has happened every single time. It's not like it's been a maybe or like, oh, he caught the one person. It's caught 2 people every single team fight, and it's just this Darius has been doing so much.
Absolutely. It really feels like Taddy Boy has been understanding the assignment outside of the laning phases, has been really instrumental for catching out stragglers on Conduit Rising Dawn's side. CRD down about 3,000 gold, but still, I feel like the game plan of just trying to starve out Maelstrom, prevent them from really getting a pick is what was making them succeed for around those last 5 minutes until we saw Dunsey fall in the mid lane. It feels like you're going to have to keep that mentality going until this dragon, and it's coming up sooner rather than later, little less than a minute. So Wolves is going to maybe look for a kill onto Galio to try and give them a numbers advantage over on that setup, but it's just too scared to commit. They don't have eyes on everybody. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome on this top side and potentially leave his team in a worse situation for the 5v5.
Right now, we have this sort of this dance we keep on returning to, right? Where Maelstrom doesn't want to get anything started just yet. We're waiting. We've got the Baron now, so we have a bit of an advantage. You see Cassiopeia meeting Baron on this bottom side. That 1v1, you know, you think it goes one way, but could just go the other. Cassiopeia can play space.
Oh, look
just
at
win
mid
that.
lane.
This is a bit of aggression on the top side as well, but mid lane, at the meantime, there's another bit of aggression. You see Nautilus is just completely pushed away, and that is just
close.
Nautilus there. There's a lot of damage going in, but can French Caps take it? It looks like the
beautiful
Zonius
arm
is
guard.
very well timed, but the rest of the team is here, and we're not going to be able to save French Caps. We're not going to be able to match the rotation because we're looking for something else. It looks like we're pushing for this mid. We're pushing for this Drake.
Yeah, so CRD recognizing they don't have the ability to really push down and threaten this dragon, so they're not going to overcommit for it. Instead, they take down French Caps on the top side. They're going to take a top lane turret with it. They're going to prevent MES from getting anything beyond their second Chemtech of the game. That mid lane turret notably still standing for CRD. I feel like this is an okay position for them so far. Second dragon, nothing too consequential. You just have to really wait up for those item spikes. You can already see Callie is starting with that last whisper, trying to be a bit more of a tank killer in these extended trades. And realistically, that's what you want. No more excuses as well, picking up his Black Cleaver. So these AD threats on Conduit should really start chunking through these tankier health bars. That's what you need, not to overforce the fight. Wait for these items. CRD have been doing that expertly, and now Baron up in about a minute and a half. Both teams setting up for this objective.
But it looks like CRD has a bit of a favorable position right now, but it looks like it is a grab, and the
they found
public
one for
execution
Zach.
is another one, and Zach will fall immediately after. Public
Big
execution
cancel.
indeed, because we're in the big public right now. Dash to the teammate was good, so we'll be safe now for rainy days, but we have to be careful. Darius and Galio both on the opposite side lanes right now. Resets coming from the both of them, but this inhib turret is under threat. Wukong clone comes out for safety, but this turret may just fall down before anybody gets here.
Ooh,
Galio on the way. The
quickness going in.
engage is not going to find anybody just yet. The quickness will not tag anyone, but it looks like we're going to dissuade any more aggression just by walking up here.
You can see, though, they really want to go for it. Tad and Evoy on the reset, wanting to look aggressive as this Darius, but they're walking into heavily, visioned up territory here by CRD, so got to be a little bit careful where they step. But the health bars are still not necessarily the healthiest here for CRD, as Dunzi may be caught yet again. Deja vu, or is it?
We're looking right now. The Petrifying Gaze doesn't tag anybody with significant damage as the TP comes in from this Ambessa. Ambessa is here now looking for something, but the root is real good right now. And that is enough to disengage.
Yeah, so you can still see, though, Callie almost going down. No more excuses as well at about half HP. Ultimates expended by CRD. They don't have the best conditions to actually look for an exchange. They have to set the recalls down. This will give time for Maelstrom to claw back some territory on this topside river. They spotted Zwolz on the top side as well. He does have the public execution to try and escape, as well as the flash, but can he do it? And Bessa is a 200 years champion, so yes, he can.
He can, and that is... Ooh, oh boy. We have a spot now because we have this Baron being sieged. And it is they don't want to give this up. You can see because of how they're posturing, but they have to wait. They have to wait until this Kai'Sa gets a bit closer. Everybody else is in range. Now Kai'Sa will... No, she's pushing up the mid lane, but it looks like they're going for
Impale is here.
It is.
They're really just trying to look for someone on the sides, but they're not able to find it. But look at the mid wave as well. French Caps is actually going to have to reset to try and answer it, but he's going to cancel it. They're going to look for some picks. They're going to look for a flank. They have vision established on this top side river. They're going to try and make use of it, but they give up the inhib. This is a disaster for MES, but here comes the fight.
Let's make it a miracle now. The slam down and the pop down. It's huge. And the damage will take down the bot lane and the mid lane right there. We're looking for the chase. We're looking for more, but we're looking for this Baron now. We're trying to see if we can catch anybody out. And Bessa may have bit off more than she can chew. But no, she'll chew on those feathers for a little bit as they have to reset. Baron likely going to Maelstrom. They just have to secure it for themselves.
Yup, Baron going to be the one chewing on those feathers as well. You can see CRD not willing to relinquish control of the map. There's going to be a dragon spawning in about 40 seconds. Cody will be up by that time, has the flash, has the petrifying gaze, all of the resources that CRD could possibly want for this fight, they will have. And it's just a question of if Maelstrom Esports are going to be able to fight back. Look at that hero's entrance cooldown. It's at around half. It's not going to be up by the time this dragon spawns, but the resets coming in late might just buy time for the Galio to be present with ultimate for this fight. He is actually going to push toward the top side, but here comes Wolves for the 1v1.
The flash is good for now, but they're trying to chase him down. We'll have the blast cone. But the rest of the boys is here. Yeah, the dragon is just easy pickings right now for Maelstrom. And that is another Chemtech Drake going to their pocket real easy. And the Galio gets away. They're safe for now. But you've got this Baron, and we got to get active with it. But we don't want to get too active before everybody's set up. Scarter, though, looking to get active. He gets hooked, and that's a big catch right now. That is a little bit of safety. We catch 3 with the impale, and that is a gigantic impale. He will fall, and does this mean a gigantic disaster? Kaiser gets a double kill. We're looking to turn it around for a triple kill. Excuses gets it, but Excuses is not making any excuses anymore. We're not making any excuses to keep it. You won't take us down. We will not slow down. We'll keep you down. Triple kill. We'll distract the Galio as we siege this bot side.
See, it is all up to Zwolz. He doesn't even have to kill French Caps, but he is going to anyway. Armguard Zanya's popped, but go to the gray screen. Be gone with you. CRD, they instead go for the bot side. There was a wave pushing in there. They're looking for the 2-0.
It looks like the 2-0 will be easy pickings right now. That fight was massive. It looked like a dream scenario for the Maelstrom with that triple impale, but the impale just set up their own death, the demise of Maelstrom, leaving CRD as the winners of the set. 37 minutes, putting it in their pocket. A victory, CRD.
And one team fight spells the doom of a squad here in the Immortal League. At the end of everything, the team fights are the things that matter, and Conduit Rising Dawn managed to put the dawn on Maelstrom here in this season, as now they drop to 0-5. Their playoff streams likely shattered with that defeat. The Impale is good, but the dredge line from Dunsey is better. They find Ventura. And now the hope is that Tad and E-Boy can get the max stacks, can get the resets on Ultimate, but he wasn't able to do it. Everything just slightly off by a couple of milliseconds even here for Maelstrom. French Caps, the last to fall. And that was the end of the game. A clean ace to sing us home for this series. Congratulations, though, to Conduit Rising Dawn. A hard-fought 2-0. And now they bring themselves up to 3-2 in the group's record. Still having to fight for playoffs contention, but one step at a time is all you need to take it.
I mean, one step at a time. You take it slow, you win it. You know, and you've got a uphill battle if you are Maelstrom, but you don't got to be discouraged just yet. But that has been an excellent set despite the late start, and we had an amazing fight back for the Maelstrom despite the fact that they lost 3 bans. But that is going to be it from us tonight. I've been Not a Valve Game. I will remain Not a Valve Game. Don't know why it's a past tense, but we've been joined by Quacks for the Immortal Division. Thank you very much tonight, and always thank you, production, for the beautiful work that they always do for us, providing us with those sexy replays with that sexy vision. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.